What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Summer Gravity, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I wanted to talk through the Trade Hub liquidity pools for a minute as, I've been getting more into land, and so one of the areas in which I wanted to potentially put more capital into was in these trade pools, just because I'm using them a lot more. My expectation is as more stuff in the game comes out, we'll see even more trade activity, right? And hopefully more scarcity on some of these items. And I was thinking, with the dip in DEC, that discount is actually kind of interesting now, where you can go in and you're essentially putting stuff in at a much lower level, right? So I can sell off the resources, get more DEC per resource, and then put that into the put that into the trade hub, and then have that rise hopefully together, right? But at least with DEC, we know that the team's going to try to get DEC back up to peg at some point, whether that's now or before the next major set comes out. But in doing that, I went through and I was just taking a look at some of the APRs, at least across the last 30 days, and I figured I'd share that with you. Now, this is something that I don't know if I'll do regularly, if this is something that you guys want me to do, maybe like once a month or something. I'm happy to. I'm recording this on the first day of October, actually, so happy Uptober. But here is what we got, and I apologize for the bright screen here. Let me go ahead and see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. There we go. So, not surprisingly, grain is at the lowest, 12.5%, but it's been the most steady, right? So we've seen it around this level for a while. So even with DEC getting lower, I think what we've seen is actually grain become a little bit more scarce. The other three, wood, stone, and iron, have all come down significantly. Those were, I think, in like the 40s and 50% ranges. But keep in mind, I am calculating this at the USD level. So it makes sense when you think about the fact that DEC has come down significantly, right? It's trading at like 650 splintoshis versus the 850 or 800 that we've seen in the past. So the fact that we're seeing these percentages come down is primarily just because I'm valuing this in US dollars, and while the other resources have stayed the same, DEC has definitely come down. Now, that being said, those are still relatively juicy APRs when you think about it, right? 20 plus, 25, 30%, right? For wood, stone, and iron. And the thought there is, well, if you go in and you are selling off your resources right now, which are at a relative high, or relatively higher, I should say, to DEC. You get more DEC per resource. You put that in. That APR only goes up over time. DEC hopefully floats back up. The resources get scarcer. I included vouchers in here just because that's the only other remaining in-game pool, and you can see vouchers that are whopping like 40%, almost like 39.6%. I would say that is there's been a lot of trade activity over the last couple of days with DAR, the new voucher card that came out. So the thing is, even despite the fact that DEC has gone down, we've seen not only the voucher value and the voucher price has gone up, but obviously the trade activity, I should say, is significantly higher on vouchers than any of the other pools. So that's just something to keep in mind. Vouchers are obviously not, related to land in any specific way or any direct way. There are things that you can craft from land using vouchers, right? Vouchers are required for that with the auction marks and the fortune draws. So there, obviously, everything is kind of tied in the game, which is part of the cool aspect of land and how that fits into the broader scheme of things. But I just figured I'd share it here. Now, the thing is, for me, right now, my thought goes into, okay, where is the value, right? Where is the value? Should I be trying to stack as many resources as possible, or should I be trying to get my land online? And the truth is that even though the APRs that I'm calculating, right, for holding DEC or buying DEC and staking it, buying cards and staking them on land plots, even though that's technically significantly lower than many of these other resources and the LPs that APRs, I still think that it's better for me to build up my land long term so that I'm not doing it at a time when things are potentially more expensive. And again, this is not financial advice. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But what I do know is that right now, DEC is at a relative low, right? 650 Splintoshis is quite low, and I'm not saying that it can't go lower, but we know that it is in the teams, the communities, the DAOs, everybody's best interest for DEC to go back up to peg. So yes, it can go lower, but the thought is that at some point it will go back up. And 650 Splintoshis, I mean, this is a 35% discount. We haven't seen something this low in quite a while. And so my thought here is, well, this would be the time to start accumulating DEC, right? And I've talked about that in previous videos. So this would be the time to start accumulating DEC. Just stake it, and then actually you can kind of ride almost like a 50% gain on that DEC back up to the top. When it comes to cards, right, the other kind of thing that I need to consider here, DEC and cards, I would say that I really have no expectations on where cards are going to go in the long run. There's a ton of Chaos Legion reward cards and core cards that are out in the marketplace. There's a ton of Chaos Legion packs. I'm going to do a separate video on that. So I'm not saying that the card prices are going to go up, but DEC seems to be the opportunity right now, or at least stacking and staking as much DEC as possible for my land, or buying the power cores. I still need several of those. So in that sense, I did this calculation. It looks juicy. I kind of want to chase the APRs, but we all know better than to go ahead and chase APRs, right? Again, not financial advice. So for me, my focus will still continue to be on land. You can see that I actually don't have much in any of these pools, right? I have like $6 in the grain pool is what my contribution is. So part of me is like, okay, well, I'll be able, like, once I get all my land up and running, then I'll be able to start contributing a little bit more here and there and see how it goes. But for now, I'm really just trying to take everything that I am earning in the game and put it towards land and get my land up and running as quickly as possible. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.